The universe does not understand words. Like, it doesn't understand words. And even as individuals, we don't understand words. We think we understand words. You think you understand what I'm saying, but then you're not. You're just speaking on my vibration. You're just speaking on my energy. That's why you realize that at certain point probably I'm going to be off so that I can go recharge my energy. That's why when your phone is down, like so that it can charge, it doesn't understand words. You think you're understanding words, but then you understand that you're picking on energy, you're picking on vibration. That's why you're probably still watching this. To get what you want in this life, you're supposed to pick not the energy of it, the right energy. That's why they will tell you when you go to that's why they will tell you associate with the rich, do these things so that you pick on their energy. But remember, however much you associate with the royals, associate with the rich, when your energy is not for the rich, your energy is not of the royals, you'll always be like that till you elevate. That's why after so many years you elevate probably and be like them, and then you will say that you became rich because you associate with them. No, the time that you were with them, there's so many years that you were with them, there's so many years that you're working with them. Perhaps you vibrated your energy. If you did, that's why you go back to your trenches. That's why when you're working probably in a place, you're supposed to. I know when you're there working for them and learning certain things, but then you're supposed to see the kind of you're picking on their energies. Some don't know it, some know it. That's why the rich or the people that are rich, they're going to live in certain environments, calm environments, because that's what money is. Like, you can't live in a rowdy place and you say you're going to have money. That's why the rich, they'll make money, but then they'll go to some other place to calm down. That's why saunas are there. That's why all these parks are there. So that people want to relax. Actually, if you want to make money, find some time and relax. That's why they tell like God rested on Sunday. Find some time and rest. I tell you this, find some time and rest. People that you aspire to become, they're rich, are resting. Do you know why they are resting? Some don't know actually why they are resting. They think they're just going to, but then when they rest, they're going to come up with an idea. As they are playing their golf, as they are doing these other things, they are resting their mind so that God can speak, so that the God in them can awaken and they do amazing things. They're going to come back with amazing ideas. That's why people engage in sex so that they can relax their minds. You get, so understand that everything is energy. Like, you see, even great actors. I want you to look at Hollywood, all the actors that you love. Look at the movies they acted and the roles they did. They acted them in ways you were like, wow. Did you watch Queen of Katwe? Did you see how Lupita was? You're like, wow, this is really a mother that loves. Actually, when you look, that's why there'll be like method acting, stuff like that. That's why when you go probably to these international like film schools and stuff like that all over the world, they just want you to invoke the emotion. They want to invoke the actor in you, the one who will be given a role, and you'll be taken away by that role. That's why actually when people are given a role, they go become. I've seen movies or actors that went to a certain area so that they can live with those people, so that they can learn their language, so that they can be like them, so that they can experience, so that by the time they come back to act, they are just living. Actually, they are not acting, they are living that exact life, and that's what actors be. And actually, you look at all the great actors are like that, and those are the movies that you will remember. You'll be like, hey, that person really cried, that person really felt. Those are the people that you remember. You won't remember people that were flat, like flat. I know flat actors can also come off, but then the people that invoked emotion, if it was a comedy, people that were after themselves, people were a joke themselves. So that's how the universe, that's how you're going to vibrate to people with the energies they have. And that's everything. You think it's just with the acting? That's everything. Those people understood it. That's why that's why you can watch these movies. That's why actually people, they take their kids from young, when they're still young, so that they can learn to embrace that. They get used to the environment, so that the energy is shaped. Because you can shape energy. The same way water can become vapor, later afterwards it can become a liquid. Already it's water, so it's a liquid. So it's a liquid, but then it can become vapor, and then it can also become a solid, like with ice. That's how it's supposed to be, and that's the energy. Because energy can either be created or destroyed. It just changes form. That's energy. That's us also when you look at it closely. That's why we don't die. We're eternal beings. That's why they will tell you, people that are religious people will tell you that after this life you work for the probably the heaven, then you're going to live in eternal life. So you're either going to live in heaven eternally or you're going to live in hell eternally. You get, because you're not dying, you just change form. So when you die, probably this body changes form, and they put it there, and the soul goes back. You get what I'm saying? That's why scientists will be like, we are all energies, because also we just change form. You just change from this physical realm probably to the spiritual realm. That's why people call whatever they call their ancestors. You get, so that's how it is. Even everything. So when you're in a mood, probably when you're meditating or when you're in a situation, ask yourself, how does it make you feel? And the universe goes through feelings. You see how they told us to don't show your feelings, don't do these things, because they want to put us in a box. They wanted to coin us in that box so that you never discover yourself. But everything in this world is through feelings, what you feel. Even manifestation coaches will tell you what you feel. How do you feel? That's why probably in the West they'll ask people, how do you feel? Because it's from what they feel they'll know what they need to do, what they need to change. They'll be like, okay, how do you feel? We've given you this. Is there any change? How are you feeling right now? Because they know. Some know, some they didn't know, some just crammed this. But that's why we are here, so that you know why they say those things. So, and feelings are many, though we only know probably feelings of happiness, feelings of sadness, but there are so many. You can Google and find a chart of feelings. You can't be melancholic or something. So many feelings. So you just find out. Because some people are not sad, some people are not. They're just there. You get. So you have to know every mood that passes, that kind of the feeling that you're in attracts a kind of vibration. So you understand, okay, where happiness lies, where money lies, where that's all you're supposed to go understand the vibrations of all those aspects. And actually, even when you look at hell is down here at the bottom. That's why they be like, hell is down, because it's at the bottom. Then heaven is high because you're high, like your feelings are high. And high, probably in most cases, that's the feeling of love and stuff like that. That's the frequency of love, it's high. That's why they be like, heaven is up. Then hell is down because it's the feeling of hate, anger, such things. That's why it's down. And you see it's red. Then heaven is blue. You get, that's why all these things are coined up. But then for you to understand them, you're supposed to add the dots. You can't understand them more, like, no, you add the dots and be like, oh, you make sense. And that's why we are here. We are here to make sense of the world. See, you might think you're not making sense of the world and you're doing other things, but then you whatever you're doing, you're trying to make sense of the world. You think the only thing that makes sense in the world is making money. That's how you've created your world. You think the only thing that makes sense is probably having kids. That's the world that you've created, because we are here on earth to find, like, probably some person will tell you our purpose or make sense of things. If we don't make sense of things and we're tired of making sense of things, that's why people engage in these other things. That's why people get addicted to certain things. That's why people probably do drugs. That's why, because they are tired of, they don't want to make sense of things. And if you don't make sense of things, you're going to be held back. You're going to do drugs, you're going to do this other things, you're going to engage in these other things, because you don't want to face your demons. You don't want to face your fears. You don't want to face your feelings. So honor your feelings. How are you feeling? How does that thing make you feel? Does it trigger something? If it triggers something, okay, what does it trigger? How can I work on myself to be better so that I'm not triggered? That's how we're supposed to heal and be better people. That's the whole healing journey. That's the essence of healing. And once you make sense of the feelings, even if you're an actor, you're going to be a great actor. You're going to be a great architect. You're going to be a great artist. You're going to be a great, all these things. Some people don't make sense of these things and life works out. Yeah, some people. But are you some people? That's it. So, peace.